Well, I was homeless to start off with, and then somebody told me about the centre, and I've been
I
here ever
moved to
since.
Scarborough in 2006 from Spain, and I was by myself, and I was in a bit of a bad way, and I was on drugs and alcohol.
Initially, I was directed from council when I was homeless about 2 years ago, and I used the facilities.
I was told about the rainbow through friends, and I knew about it, but it took me a while to come and, get help. Yeah, word of mouth. But I've been through a great deal over the past years. I've lost family, friends, my parents. I've lost both parents. Been through a lot of problems through ex-partners, and the rainbows helped me a great deal.
It started 25 years ago, in September. A vicar called Bob Jackson, who was our vicar then, he wanted there to be Jesus in the community, not just as a holy huddle in church. And so it was his vision that started the Rainbow Centre. Nothing like at all like it is now, but that's how it started. Just very small fish and chip vouchers for people who were homeless, and there was only about 2. How things change. But that's how it started all those years ago.
It has grown a lot, and the nature in which we work, the way in which we work, and the things that we do have changed. We did some things in the past which we don't do now, and so on. So I think you have to be adapting to the current situation. And at the moment, the massive problem is the cost of living crisis, which everybody is feeling, and those who are struggling anyway are just, they're in a hopeless position. And I think we have to try and give them some hope as well as helping in a practical way.
Of course, 25 years ago, people came in charabancs for the week, didn't they? And then all of a sudden, overseas holidays started. And so the boarding houses that have been used to taking people for a week suddenly found themselves empty. And they changed to what was then DHSS hostels. And of course the people in the hostels, they had no cooking facilities, they had no washing facilities, they didn't have, there was perhaps a shower at the end of the room shared by 6 other rooms. So we then set up showers, washing machines, cafe, and it's evolved and developed since then.
Well, it's just like anyone else that comes through the door, you know what I mean? Get clothing, you can get shower, you can do your washing, stuff like that.
Well, I'm homeless at the minute, and it's a place where I can come from 7 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon and sit on the sofa, watch TV, get a shower, get something to eat.
Yeah, she got me off drugs, alcohol, got me somewhere to live, just basically changing my life around.
I've always been coming here since, because they've been there for me, helping me with. I was dyslexic when I was younger. They've helped me fill forms in, get me benefits sorted. They've helped a great deal of people.
I feel proud, and it makes me happy that I'm helping people, because I know I was in their situation, so I can relate to it.
One of the things we sometimes do is answer telephones, so we'll get direct contact from people through the telephone. So as well as Carol being on the office, there's several others of us that do the office as well. People might ring in about a previous visit or something they've done, but basically we're there just to be the first port of call, either from the telephone or from people walking into the centre. So one of the things you might see is people bringing in donations. Another thing is people coming in that are homeless at the moment. Their needs are very varied. If they're new to the area, we generally check on their status, i.e. how long they've been here, what sort of accommodation they have got and any needs there might be, and what we can actually do to help them. We can give food directly, we can do things with bedding, sleeping bags, clothing, and we can also apply for vouchers for food to help support them, first call. Then you look at things like, are they getting benefits, any sort of financial support, and then you might look at things like setting up bank accounts. That's been one of the things that's been up and running quite a lot, really, hasn't it? With a lot of the homeless, is trying to get them a bank account so they can access the benefits and things that they're entitled to.
And it's actually helping them to access other agencies as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That can help.
Or they might not know about us.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
well yes.
Well, because we liaise with quite a lot of the local authorities. So, like, there's for younger people, we might work with Foundation, or we've got Horizons, or we might work with the Housing Options people. There's also various other groups that we might point them to, DAG and things like that, and just pointing out what is available.
We do uniforms in the summer. I work with something called Amicable Society, which is a very old children's charity, and we do uniforms for children who need school uniforms, ones who especially who are going to senior school from junior, and we've already got about 60, and last year we did over 100. This year we're looking at maybe doing 200, you know, and that's people who just can't afford it. They aren't making it up, they aren't pretending, you know, they can't afford it, and they're scared. A lot of fear around for what's going to happen.
And also they want their children to start secondary school the same as anybody
Absolutely.
else.
Really important, that is. Really important for us. When a child's just going from year 4 to year 5 or year 8 to year 9, they can get away with going and getting second-hand uniform, which Tom Clayton does at the Westbury Church. We work with them. It's just free school uniform. But when they're going from year 6 to year 7, and they're disadvantaged anyway because they've got no money, and people know, they know, I was brought up like that, they know that when you've got nothing, and so they're already on back foot, and they might not have done very well at school in the primary school that we're in, so they have to go as the peers go, smart, clean, new uniform, new shoes, new winter coat, and then we work with it after that, you know. So we apply for that. Amicable Society are brilliant. They'll pay it up.
And it's a huge expense for anybody,
It's
isn't
huge,
it?
really. I mean, it can cost £130, £150. So that's something that we do, and as I say, it's already ramping up.
At Christmas, we do. Was it how many did we do this year? 1,500 presents to children. But that's 5 in each bag. That's not one present. And she insists that it's a large present and then 4 smaller. And that's mammoth, isn't it? And I've been doing that now for 4 years. And I love every minute. You're exhausted at the end of the day. That's where I met you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Julie?
first I came into help.
You come into help. So
Christmas
yeah,
before
it's
then
just
I started here.
those, like you just said earlier, those levels
Yeah.
are, you know, they just go down and down. If you were sat here, we could tell you all day, really, the amount of things that are the
That's how we
Rainbow
get lots
does.
of big families, working families, but not particularly on high salary income families, and trying to make their money last till the end of the month with all the price increases. They're just not managing. So they're coming in often quite embarrassed to be here, but realising that they do need support, and before they get into even further debt, they're trying to reach out for some help, and we're one of the places they can come to for that.
Rainbow Money has been running for about 12 years now, and I came 12 years ago and we set it up from scratch. And really what we do is we help people sort out their debt, we do budgeting work with them, and we solve their debt problem if we can.
And I think it's true to say that the staff and the volunteers don't know who's going to be coming through the door, and I think that's why it's so good that people know they can come and they will be listened to and they will be accepted, they'll be treated fairly and as human beings.
If it wasn't for places like this, I wouldn't be here. I mean,
If Rainbow Centre weren't here, I'd probably be definitely in prison, reoffending, because I won't have I won't want to be, like, although I'm on the streets, I don't want to be dirty, you know what I mean? You've got to be clean, haven't you? So if Rainbow Centre weren't here, I don't think I'd be able to live like that. So I think I'd probably be offending to get accommodation or being with wrong people, to sleep somewhere, to get off the streets, you know what I mean? Basically. So probably prison.
They've been like a family to me. and this is why I come back, because they're always there for you.
If this centre weren't here, I wouldn't even want to dare imagine what Scarborough would be like. I wouldn't.
I'm born and bred from Scarborough. I've lived here all my life. I just didn't expect to get problems with my health and lose my family.
Because everybody, you know, uses it who needs to use it. The people that are on really low income and stuff like that. And, you know, there's a vast different sort of people that come in here. You know, and everybody talks to each other and it's friendly atmosphere, there's never any trouble. Like I say, it feels safe here, you know what I mean?
But they're always there for you. They're always there for a shoulder to cry on.
This place is a godsend to have people in Scarborough. It really is.
Beginning of next year, there's a lot of support and household support the government's giving at the moment, and that's all going to be gone by Christmas. And then January, we're going to hit a time when everything's gone up, but there's no more support available for people.
You know, we see so much fear at the moment about what's going to happen.
If you were to say to somebody on the street or in Scarborough, what would be the thing that you would want donated? Is it finance, or is it food, or is it Christmas presents? What's the main thing you need?
It's all of those things, but we can't do anything without finances. We're living on a shoestring at the moment. We're teetering on an edge of something not good, you know, and we need finances. We need people to support us financially. But if they can't do that, we need them to support us with food, because that's one of our biggest expenses.
One of the things we find that when people are looking to think of a charity they'd like to support, they don't always pick the rainbow, because there's this very narrow image of the range of clients that we deal with. And the range of clients that we deal with, I've worked here now, I started last summer, in the August holidays. Mm-hmm. And in that year, nearly a year now, I have seen a vast change in the range of clients that we're getting and the number of clients that we're meeting day to day, and their needs have just
escalated,
ballooned, hasn't it? It's just been unbelievable.
I think the public support for the Rainbow Centre is amazing. We keep getting the food donations. It obviously comes and goes and ebbs and flows, but people do so many fundraising activities for us. I think people, or a lot of people, realise that if the Rainbow Centre disappeared tomorrow, that other services so much would be absolutely swamped, and the landscape of the town would change in some measurable and tangible way. So, but I think the people that know about the Rainbow Centre are incredibly supportive, and we see just from our Facebook page, the Afghan appeal was a great example. Put out a Facebook post and suddenly we had 2 halls basically full of donations that we couldn't handle very easily.
Yeah. Our thing is the dignity of our clients, the justice that they deserve, and the voice that they need, which is what we do. We give them a voice. So bang on tables on their behalf. Say, come on, do something.
What do you think the main thing you've learned in the 23 years of being here?
That there's no stereotype. There's no stereotypical homeless person or drug addict or alcoholic or somebody with mental health problems. There's no stereotype. It can happen to anybody. Anybody. Doesn't matter whether you're the highest or they deem you to be the lowest. Doesn't matter. Drugs is no respect of people. Alcohol isn't. Mental health isn't. Poverty isn't. You're only that far away from losing your home, you know. So stereotypes don't exist.
We rely on a huge amount of goodwill in the society around us as well. You know, there are organisations which I could name who have always been very helpful and supportive. So, yeah.
It's brilliant. We love it. We love it. We love the people.
And that comes through really clearly, is the love in the place. Obviously for your clients you've got coming through here, but also all of your volunteers and staff here. You have obviously a really strong bond between the lot of you.
Yeah.
The ladies before you described it as your rainbow family, which is, you're probably a dysfunctional family, as most families are, but that's what keeps you together, and when you have tough days you need that, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of us, a lot of the volunteers and staff, they do have tough days. They do have times when life isn't, well, is it for anybody? Life isn't perfect, life's got problems. And they know they can come and talk. And they've built so many lasting friendships up, you know. So they'll go out and have coffee once, twice a week and just have a tea and cake or coffee and cake, you know. And they know, we all know when a person needs a bit of a lift,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, it's just an amazing place. It could never be, you can't quantify what we do. You can't write down what we do, because sometimes we don't know what we're going to do. We find an answer, and if we can't find an answer, we'll find someone who's got an answer, and we fight for our people, and when we want justice for them, and we want dignity for them, but you couldn't put it into a book that this is what the rainbow does, because as soon as you get to the end, bang, the rainbow does something different or something else. So it's not, there's no end to it, you know, to what we do, because we always do that bit more.